Today is Friday, December 8th. We're talking about a rare emergency move by the United Nations to address a humanitarian crisis in Gaza, and how American celebrities became the face of a Russian propaganda campaign. Also, the latest criminal case against the president's son, plus new research that has some of the world's leading health experts calling for better postpartum care, how a new strike could impact holiday shipping, and expect to see a lot of one particular color soon. We'll tell you about the new color of the year. Those stories and more news to know next. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. The war in Gaza has now entered its third month and shows no signs of slowing down. For now, the battles are still happening on the ground and from the air. The Hamas-controlled Gaza Health Ministry now says the Palestinian death toll has surpassed 17,000, and nearly 2 million people have been driven from their homes. Israel has said it has established safe zones so Palestinian civilians have places to go away from the fighting. But the aid organization UNICEF says they're just tiny patches of barren land with no facilities, shelters, or sanitation, and barely any food. UNICEF says they risk becoming zones of disease and human suffering. Israel did announce steps yesterday to help with the humanitarian crisis, saying it will allow more fuel and will open a second inspection point in the next few days for trucks carrying relief supplies. And that's expected to be a huge help. But humanitarian groups and world leaders, including President Biden, still say much more assistance is needed. In fact, the United Nations Secretary General has invoked a rarely used power to formally urge the UN Security Council to use all of its influence to prevent a humanitarian catastrophe. That power hasn't been used for decades. The Secretary General is also still pushing for a ceasefire, even though Israel and the U.S. say that would only benefit Hamas. So the U.S. supports another humanitarian pause instead. An emergency Security Council meeting is happening this morning. American celebrities were apparently tricked into recording Russian propaganda videos. Microsoft put out a new report detailing what happened. It says doctored videos have been flourishing on Russian social media sites and TV stations for months now. They feature people like Lord of the Rings actor Elijah Wood, The Office actress Kate Flannery, former boxer Mike Tyson, Elvis Presley's ex-wife Priscilla Presley, and more. It turns out they were all contacted on Cameo, the service that lets people pay celebrities for short, customized online videos. Well, the reps say their clients recorded the videos thinking they were helping a fan named Vlad with addiction. But they were edited with text that says the celebrities were referring to Ukrainian President Zelensky, and watermarks were added to the videos to make it look like they were uploaded on Instagram rather than Cameo. The claim that Zelensky has substance abuse problems is a common theme in anti-Ukrainian disinformation that's been debunked. For now, Cameo won't comment on this campaign specifically, but says using the service to trick content creators violates its community guidelines. A new criminal case has been filed against President Biden's son, Hunter. It's just the latest development in a long-running Justice Department investigation into the younger Biden's taxes. Now the special prosecutor says Hunter Biden had a scheme to not pay at least $1.4 million in taxes he owed between 2016 and 2019. And even when he paid his taxes from 2018, prosecutors say he included false business deductions to lower his tax liabilities. To be clear, the president's son later paid all the money back in 2021. But the indictment still says, for 4 years, Hunter Biden spent millions of dollars on an extravagant lifestyle that included drugs, luxury hotels, exotic cars, and escorts when he should have been paying his tax bills. Overall, he's facing 9 new charges. And if he's convicted of them, he could face up to 17 years in prison. Though his lawyer says it's all political. You'll remember this case was close to being resolved with a plea deal over the summer, but that deal fell apart after scrutiny from a federal judge. So on top of this tax case, Biden also is facing charges related to him lying about being a drug user to buy a gun. He's pleading not guilty to those charges, and his lawyers say they plan to fight the new charges too. Well, much of the eastern half of the U.S. is in for some strong storms this weekend. The forecast includes heavy rain, powerful winds, and even snow. It's all expected to start tonight in the Midwest and south central states like Texas. From there, things could get more intense. On Saturday, meteorologists say the storms will stretch more than 1,200 miles from the Gulf Coast to the Canadian border. And some of those storms could turn severe. Even tornadoes are possible in the south. Still, the storms are expected to be strongest on Sunday. And there's the possibility winds could bring down trees, knock out power, and disrupt air travel on the East Coast. In New England, there could be a mix of snow and freezing rain that could make the roads dangerous. The good news is most of the storm will be out of the U.S. by the start of the work week, though it is expected to leave much colder air behind. We have more news for you coming up, but first, this episode is brought to you by AG1. All right, what's one thing you can do today for yourself and for your health? A simple habit I've incorporated into my morning is drinking AG1. It is just 1 scoop of AG1 mixed with water, and I always drink it on an empty stomach as I'm just starting the day. I feel like it really sets me up for success in multiple ways. I love how hydrating it is, that it supports my gut health and immune system, and that it's this single solution that covers my nutritional basis first thing in the morning. Plus, it's me doing a simple thing for myself, and as a mom, that's a big deal. And it's a way to remind myself to continue those healthy and good habits all day long. I've also been pleasantly surprised that I felt a boost in energy and focus pretty quickly. So if you're looking for a simpler, effective investment for your health, try AG1 and get 5 free AG1 travel packs and a free 1-year supply of vitamin D with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/newsworthy. That's drinkag1.com/newsworthy. Check it out. Now back to the news. Scientists have found a new way for aging adults to ward off dementia, and it doesn't involve any kind of medical treatment or pills. It seems all it takes is getting a dog. Japanese researchers surveyed 12,000 people between the ages of 65 and 84. They were asked whether they own dogs, cats, or no pets, and what type of exercise they do regularly. Then researchers followed up after 4 years to see if anything had changed about their health conditions. The results were recently published in a peer-reviewed journal, and they showed dog owners were 40% less likely to develop dementia than the others, even after adjusting for other factors. So what is it about dogs that seem to help seniors so much? Well, researchers say dog owners are more likely to leave the house, which exercises the brain and means more human interaction too. Plus, walking or playing with a dog means more physical activity. But there could be even more to it than that. Other recent studies have shown just spending 5 to 20 minutes petting a dog can drop people's levels of the stress hormone cortisol, something therapy dogs are known for. Of course, there are other factors at play, like whether the person actually likes dogs and connects with the specific animal. Another new peer-reviewed study has gotten the attention of some of the leading health experts around the world. It has to do with how childbirth can have lasting impacts on more than 40 million women a year. To start, researchers from the World Health Organization and institutions around the world looked at health problems happening 6 weeks after childbirth, and they found many complications. The most common one was pain during intimacy. The study says it impacts more than a third of postpartum women. Other issues that were common include low back pain, incontinence, anxiety, and depression. And not everyone is able to get help. The report says many doctors are ill-equipped to address the issues since there's not a lot of data behind them, and the complications are often invisible during a regular exam. So now the researchers behind the study are calling for more recognition, increased funding, and access to information, and eventually more maternal health care both before and after pregnancy. A strike against one delivery company could end up delaying packages during the peak holiday shipping season. More than 1,100 DHL Express workers at the company's main American air hub decided to walk off the job. They've been negotiating their contract since July, but still haven't reached a deal. The hub handles, on average, 350,000 packages a day with 130 daily flights. DHL Express says it's now bringing in replacement staff and moving some flights and packages to other locations. But the Wall Street Journal reports workers at other pickup and delivery locations across the U.S. could also decide to strike in solidarity. So there's still a chance service could be disrupted. DHL says it's planning to sit down for contract talks more this month and next month until a deal is done. Meta says all personal chats and calls sent through its Messenger app will now be encrypted automatically, and the move is reigniting a privacy debate. The company announced the default end-to-end encryption for Facebook and its connected Messenger app is rolling out now. Direct messages on Meta's Instagram are also expected to be encrypted by default sometime next year. This kind of privacy has existed on Meta's WhatsApp for many years. End-to-end encryption is a protected way for two people to message each other securely, and not even Meta itself can see what's sent. But it's been a thorny subject. Privacy advocates and others appreciate the extra security, free of snooping, and Meta has said it keeps users safe from hackers and fraudsters. But others have concerns. Child safety advocates and some government officials, for example, say it would be practically impossible to track child predators, terrorists, and other criminals. Either way, the encryption is going to be used a lot. Messenger users send more than 1.3 billion photos and videos on the app a day. The world's authority on color has spoken. The Pantone Color Institute has announced its color for 2024. It is Peach Fuzz. It's a light orangey pink, and Pantone describes it as gentle, warm, and cozy, meant to communicate a message of caring and sharing, community, and collaboration. Pantone is best known for its color-matching system, but for the last 25 years, it's released a new shade to set the tone for the year ahead. It considers trends across industries, such as art, entertainment, fashion, and even technology. That's it for the main news today, so now it's time for Feel Good Friday, when we bring you one extra feel-good or positive news story before the weekend. But first, a quick break for our sponsor, CastleFlex. I'm sure you've heard of the benefits of stretching, so I'm here to tell you about a device that I found makes my stretching more effective and its benefits much more pronounced. Even after the first time I used the CastleFlex, I could tell a difference. And the more I use it, the better my body feels. My husband and I both have dealt with back issues, so we've needed something to really work. And the CastleFlex has helped so much. Think of this device as WD-40 for achy bones and tight muscles. Plus, it's the same price as just 1 or 2 massages or chiro sessions, and yet it can be used daily for years. And right now, they're allowing returns even after the holidays until January 15th, so you can gift it without worrying about return deadlines. Though really, they have a less than 1% return rate anyway, so you and your loved ones will want to hang on to it. Oh, and we have a code for our community right now to get a discount. So take advantage by going to castleflex.com, that's flex with 2 X's, and use our code NEWS12 for 10% off. CastleFlex, F-L-E-X-X, castleflex.com with the code NEWS12. Okay, now back to Feel Good Friday. A teenager from Iowa decided to spend hours of her time between school and softball practice to grow 7,000 pounds of vegetables, only to give most of it away. High school junior Lauren Schroeder's life changed when she volunteered at a food bank and realized there weren't a lot of fresh options for families. So she decided to fill that void. Despite her agricultural background, Lauren didn't know much about gardening, but she learned. After doing some research, her parents let her use a ½ acre of land on the family's 150-acre farm in Dixon, Iowa. She then expanded to an acre thanks to a grant from Future Farmers of America. Lauren has grown broccoli, cauliflower, herbs, potatoes, squash, tomatoes, and more than a dozen other types of veggies. And when they're ripe, they get donated to nonprofits like a soup kitchen and nursing home. Now Lauren wants to expand her garden even more. Her goal is to donate 10,000 pounds of produce before graduating high school, and she wants to continue her project even after starting college. All right, we'll be back tomorrow with our special edition Saturday episode, where you'll learn a proven blueprint for making better decisions and even hear one of our team members get coached on a decision she's been struggling with. And of course, we'll be back on Monday with your next news roundup. For now, thank you so much for listening and have a great weekend.